So in War Thunder for today, we have some very interesting news whenever it comes to cheating, and as well as it looks like botting whenever it comes to War Thunder, because apparently there has been some sort of kerfuffle whenever it comes to the Chinese portion of the game, where basically someone has apparently taken the source code for many of the cheats whenever it comes to War Thunder. I think it's mainly to do with like botting, so like naval botting, SPAA botting, all that sort of stuff, which is like in the game for a very long time, and I made videos about this in the past. They have apparently sent just the source code to Gaijin, which now has banned a lot of people. Now, the thing about this is it's very what was it called right now? It's kind of like a in the moment happening type of thing. So definitely it will be something in the future. We'll just have to validate and see if it was actually correct whenever there's some sort of like ban devlog that comes out, like the cheater devlog or whatever they put out, it comes out. But as of right now, it kind of looks legit, because if you go on to the War Thunder forums, where most people go to complain, we have started to see a lot of people start to put up posts about them being banned, about them, losing their account, and it kind of seems like it is legitimate. And also, since some of the War Thunder staff is actually engaging in this sort of stuff with Stona over here, maybe it is correct. Now, if you've never engaged with any of the Chinese players whenever it comes to War Thunder, they really don't interact with the Western audience on stuff like Reddit, Twitch, YouTube, all that sort of stuff where people usually hang out in. They use this website called Bilibili, and Bilibili is an interesting website. I do agree that there's very iffy stuff probably going on with that website, especially because, it's from China, and as well as, there's just, people who post iffy stuff in general. But for the War Thunder side, whenever it comes to that, there's still iffy stuff, but at the same time, there's a bunch of just interesting shit posting, which is just great whenever it comes to War Thunder. Definitely, the Reddit has no match to the Bilibili shit posters. They're just better than you. They believe VVVD is an idiot because he can't take off from an aircraft carrier, and it's just insane and crazy amount of the stuff that they do. As you can see right here, you have people who are cosplaying as wonderful BVVD and also Anton Newton stuff, and they're driving around tanks on the ground with their faces on them as well. It's just a wonderful website. I highly recommend, but I don't really recommend it. Hang on, let me say this. I don't recommend going to Bilibili just because it's very iffy. It's owned by China, just like all these other companies which are selling your data. You have no clue where this is going, and I highly recommend never going on this. But if you want to see some top quality shit posting from China for War Thunder, Bilibili is the way to go. Now, to get back onto the botting and as well as cheating issue within this video, there was a Reddit post which was put out with some screenshots of, it seems like, some DMs from, I believe it was Bilibili, but I'm not really completely sure about that. But the thing about it is that there was a quote in here saying that around 40,000 accounts were permabanned from the game because of cheats and as well as, stuff like that. The question about it is this a valid source? No, it's one that's just a DM that's been leaked. So we definitely have to see if Gaijin actually puts out a valid source for this whenever it comes to their ban logs or something like that. But at the end of the day, there's kind of a negative to this as well, and I really don't sympathize with the cheaters at all. I think they all should be banned whenever it comes to the game itself. But the problem now is that this was a publicly event. So there's people that know about this now. There's, Gaijin knows about it as well. The problem is now with these cheats is that the cheats that are here today, that, the botting scripts that are here today are going to be completely removed from the game, because the source code was leaked. That's a given. But the problem now is now the future of these cheats are going to be even harder to actually get rid of, because the vetting process for people, or the people that are allowed to see the source code, or the people that are allowed to see these sort of things that are involved with these cheats, is going to be way harder. It's going to be way harder to get someone on the inside now that is going to be able to leak the source code to Gaijin to get these people banned again. And the sad reality about this is that it's going to happen. The cheats are still going to be here. They're just going to have to update them to where they actually work again, and then they'll be right back. They'll be back to botting. They'll be back to doing, aimbotting or whatever cheat got banned during this update or during this ban wave, and they're going to be back. And the problem about it is that now, since this was a publicly, thing, it's going to be something that's harder to do in the future, and I think it's kind of sad. In my opinion, I believe it would have been way better to just make this a kind of silent event. Be like, hey, Gaijin, here's an email of all the source code. Don't credit me. Don't do anything. Just, get rid of the cheaters, and I don't want any publicly thing for this. But the sad thing about humans is that they want to be congratulated for something like this. And with that being said, there's going to be people who leak it. Maybe the person who leaked it in the first place isn't the original poster of this sort of stuff, but, publicizing this sort of thing just makes it harder in the future for this sort of thing to be fixed. And it's going to be one thing that's going to be a big problem whenever it comes to cheating in the future. Whenever it comes to being on the inside of anything, whenever people suspect of a rat being involved in sort of this sort of stuff where, you know, they're like, oh, someone is leaking this to Gaijin, we need to find this rat. The one thing that kind of happens with that, especially if the rat is really good, is that they go on loose like rat crumbs of what they think the person actually is. They start accusing people of other things, and you just get turmoil within the, you know, development, like cheater development software as well. But the problem now is that they basically know who did it. The person is basically never going to get, you know, reintroduced into that group of people. And it would have been just great if like the person would have just kept quiet and they're like, hey, I'm just going to be an insider for now. And, you know, every time they introduce like a new update to the cheat, here you go, Gaijin, here's the source code. And would just be wondering how is Gaijin just banning this over and over. And, you know, it probably went on for longer. But this round's really good. I do agree. It's really good to see cheaters within War Thunder banned. I mean, I still stand by the statement of that you will rarely ever see a cheater within War Thunder. And whenever you do, it's extremely rare. Not every game is a cheater. I mean, I've seen people quote this over and over, and I don't understand why it just gets into this point where there's like, oh, every single game I play in War Thunder is a cheater. Or, you know, majority of the games I see are people cheating. And I've even had people that are like, okay, so I'm like, I don't believe you at all. Can you like send like a replay of someone you believe that was cheating? And it's always something really stupid of like they heard them with like sound, or they bino shotted them, or they're just using thermals. And it's just like, bro, can you please just like look at the own replay and see how you messed up and realize that, you know, maybe he wasn't cheating, or maybe that person wasn't cheating, and kind of just improve your gameplay. Now, I mean, I do credit it. Like, I've had cheaters in the past of War Thunder. Some of them were very obvious. Some of them were like low-level accounts with just like 1 or 2 premiums. They're just walling people through forests. They're, you know, shooting people with a Sturmpanzer across the map, directly hitting them every single time. Yes, there's cheaters within War Thunder, but not every single game you play as a cheater. That's just a skill issue, and maybe you should improve. But I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next War Thunder video.